Strea has officially been announced for Art Online Fractured Daydream as the added character of Worlds Beyond 1 DLC, and while I'm very happy that the game is reaching for the Gameverse cast, today I'm gonna talk about why it worries me. Mind you, my complaint pertains to a very small portion of the game, namely the story, whereas the main offering of Fractured Daydream is its multiplayer. This is not the end of the world for Fractured Daydream, it's not even a problem at all in the grand scheme of things, but it's the first thing that made me sigh in frustration since the game was first revealed months ago. Let's be real, the SAO Gameverse has a much different vibe filled with random fan service, suggestive text, boob jokes, awkward moments that are closer to cringe than funny, all of which are not often done once or twice, but rather are on a constant repeat. Illustration, Licorice and Last Recollection were able to distance themselves from this repeated unpleasantry during their main campaigns more often than not, but were kind of plunged back into the swamp with their optional content being the character events. When Art Online Fractured Daydream was first revealed, and over the months where more and more information was shared about it, it established certain things. Most importantly, it would be based on the main canon, and what little we received about its story also aligned with this promise. Seemed a little bit more serious than the SAO Gameverse that started with Hollow Fragment and concluded with Last Recollection. And I still believe we'll get that with the main campaign of the game. However, Strea from Hollow Fragment being introduced as the DLC 1 character means she's arriving with a story, and we've already seen from Tokyo Game Show material published by Bandai Namco that it appears to be the same Strea we know from the Gameverse. Boobs and hugs and suggestive material included. I always hoped Gameverse characters would be included eventually in this game. I just hope they'd be done without story, just as multiplayer roster additions. It was a very clear choice here. Gameverse concluded after 10 years, and for all of its great moments, I was ready to leave behind its less great ones. I do not want the boob jokes back. I don't want to create awkward moments between characters as if they're fun. I don't think the developers or the writers should want it either, considering how the Variant Showdown event that pitted Asuna and Alice against each other in a pissing contest was received, and that was after an event story in Unleashed Blading that had yet another nail in the coffin for that game with a similar concept. So it's not just me, people, fans, the exact players these are being marketed towards are kinda sorta tired of these concepts that make them cringe. Let's talk about Strea. You know what I want to see from a good Strea. Remember that moment when all felt lost against Sugo Nobuyuki? Strea just pierced through the crowd of clearers and threw herself at the GM knife he held in his hand to protect others? That's what I want to see. Or the moment, for example, where the game pitted us against a boss, one that we were scripted to be doomed against, and just on the verge of our demise, Hollow Strea rushed in one of the most heroic shots of the SAO Gameverse. That's the Strea I want. I want the Strea who goes out of her way to support others, cheer them up with her cheerfulness, and lift them up when they're down. But for every great Strea moment we had, the Gameverse has given us 10 other negative ones that either water her character down to a massive cleavage, for the lack of a better description here, or that cause awkward cringe moments for other characters to partake in. I'm sure she'll be a blast to play as with her cheerful and tanky playstyle, alongside Misawa Sachika's wonderful voice performance as Strea. But I keep my fingers crossed that this is not a return to the worst concepts or scenarios the SAO Gameverse had to offer in the past 10 years. That is the one thought that makes me shudder every time I think about it. I'm thrilled to get this Strea back, and I hope the one we get in Fractured Daydream is that one. This has been a short opinion piece that barely affects the game at large, but after 10 years, I'm exhausted of extreme fan service that barely anyone enjoys, because many people, many fans are just as exhausted as I am of it. 10 years of Gameverse feedback is right there, with a clear sign of how people gradually lost interest in these. Unleashed Blading feedback is right there. Variant Showdown feedback is right there. I hope they amounted to something when bringing Strea into a place where she previously was not a part of. Thank you for watching, and stay cool.